There was a time when Wakanda only lived in the shadows of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a mysterious nation hidden behind illusions with technology decades ahead of the world and traditions rooted thousands of years in the past. Black Panther gave us our first real look, but now, with Eyes of Wakanda, we're stepping deeper than we've ever gone before. Not forward, backward, through time, through history, through legends that were never told, until now. This is not just another Marvel story, this is a secret history of Wakanda, an animated series that pulls us through forgotten battles, ancient espionage, and a global hunt for vibranium that stretches back to the Bronze Age. The showrunner, Todd Harris, didn't come from nowhere. He's been with Marvel for years, working as a storyboard artist long before Marvel animation was even a concept fans could dream about. He's also a student of history, a lifelong Marvel fan, and someone who's been imagining Wakanda's past long before Endgame, long before What If, and long before Disney Plus became a home for Marvel TV. What he pitched, and what Marvel let him run wild with, is nothing short of radical, a spy espionage anthology that plays out like a mix of James Bond, Indiana Jones, and Black Panther, but set across different periods of world history. This isn't about one hero, this is about generations of warriors, all connected by a single mission: protect Wakanda's greatest secret, vibranium. It starts in the end days of the Western Bronze Age, a historical collapse, civilizations crumbling, chaos across the known world. And somewhere in that storm, a spark is lit. A vibranium artifact ends up in the wrong hands. From there, the war begins, not with nations, but with silence, secrecy, precision, and shadows. The operatives are called the Hatut Zaraze. Their name means dogs of war, but they're not soldiers marching through the streets. They're ghosts, agents, operatives. Their job isn't to wage open war, it's to prevent one before it starts. They recover vibranium artifacts wherever they're scattered across history, no matter the cost. Because Wakanda knows something the rest of the world refuses to learn: power doesn't belong in every hand. Cress Williams, the face of Black Lightning, voices a character known as the Lion. He sounds like royalty with scars, dignity with weight. His voice alone hints at a legacy earned, not inherited. Alongside him is Noni, voiced by model and activist Winnie Harlow. In the stills released by Marvel, you can feel the quiet tension between them. Partners in silence, guardians of something much bigger than themselves. But this show isn't about repeating what we already know. Eyes of Wakanda is doing something rare for Marvel. It's expanding the past instead of building toward the future. It's not a spin-off, it's a prelude with no end in sight. Todd Harris describes it as anthology adjacent, a term that tells us we'll be jumping through time, but everything will still be connected. This isn't What If with scattered episodes and one-off stories. This is a mosaic. Each piece matters. It's not just about the ancestors of familiar characters either. Sure, you'll see legacies, echoes, but more importantly, you'll see what kind of people Wakanda produces, what kind of discipline it takes to be Wakandan, what kind of values are passed down in a society that has had 10,000 years to avoid collapse, corruption, and colonization. Most countries in the real world couldn't go 300 years without tearing themselves apart. Wakanda's secret isn't just technology, it's restraint, balance, clarity of purpose. The Hatut Zaraze are reflections of those ideals. They're not superheroes, they're agents with a higher standard. They don't get the spotlight, they don't wear capes, they don't make headlines, but they're the ones who make sure those stories can even exist. Harris makes it clear this is a globe-trotting adventure. We're not locked inside Wakanda's borders. We're traveling through history, different cultures, different conflicts. Sometimes the operatives are the only Wakandans in the frame. Sometimes the tension isn't just about recovering the artifact, it's about deciding whether history is even ready for what Wakanda has to hide. One episode might bring you to ancient Scandinavia, where a shield maiden channels raw power and lost magic. Another could drop you into the Mediterranean, or the Fertile Crescent, or the courts of East Asia. Harris wants us to feel the truth that historians already know but most of pop culture ignores. History isn't made in isolation. Civilizations blend, conflict, collaborate, and share more than we think. The story of humanity is a shared one, and vibranium in this story becomes the metaphor for power that should have never left Wakanda's hands. The series also teases appearances by unexpected figures like Iron Fist. Yes, that Iron Fist. That opens up questions. Is this Danny Rand, an ancestor, or something else entirely? What happens when vibranium and chi collide? The cast is a mix of established voices and exciting newcomers. Patricia Belcher, Larry Herron, Lynn Whitfield, Zeke Alton. Each of them will add to the layers of this world, playing spies, enemies, mentors, and maybe even traitors. But it's Anna Kanoni Rose who stands out in Harris's praise. He calls her an archangel, someone who swept in and transformed the character she played into a show-defining force. He says he wants a toy made of her character more than any other. That tells me she's going to be the heart of the show in some way. A conscience, maybe, or a voice that challenges the way Wakanda handles its own secrets. And then there's Steve Toussaint. Most people know him from House of the Dragon, where he played Corlys Velaryon with steel in his spine. In Eyes of Wakanda, he plays a different kind of veteran, a jaded agent, one who's seen too much, lost too much, but still believes in the mission. Harris describes him as a man who's constantly balancing his duty with his principles. That kind of conflict is pure fuel for a show like this. It's what makes these characters human. Because that's the soul of Eyes of Wakanda. It's not about gadgets or cameos or action set pieces, though all of those will be there. It's about what kind of people Wakanda needs to survive across centuries, what kind of resolve it takes to protect your culture when the world keeps trying to pull it apart. Every decision to act or not to act carries the weight of history. Every mission is more than just a retrieval. It's about stopping the future from breaking the past. Wakanda's greatest stories were never lost. They were hidden. Eyes of Wakanda is finally pulling back the curtain, one mission at a time. If you're ready for ancient secrets, silent wars, and a side of Marvel we've never seen before, this is the one to watch. Hit that like button if you're excited for Wakanda's secret history. Subscribe for more deep dives into Marvel animation. And don't forget to ring the bell, because when Eyes of Wakanda drops, you won't want to miss a frame.